Rush Duel is a fast-paced spin-off game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you can summon as many monsters as you want and draw up to 5 cards each turn. In this series, me and the TheDrAlex progress through each Rush Duel product release and build decks with whatever cards were available at that time. We have been drafting characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime and have exclusive access to those characters' boss monsters, and will continue to draft characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush series. Join us as we continue to battle it out in this series, Rush Duel Character Draft. So this is the deck we're bringing to today's game. This is Dark Fairy. Now we brought this deck almost exactly as this build a few weeks back for the actual character draft episode, but we didn't really get to experience what the Dark Fairies do a ton in that game. We just kind of were playing around a bit of a beatdown strategy. We didn't even get to see our legend card, Dark Lord Zerato. So we're going to run it back this week and see if we can't take on whatever Alex is bringing. So the Dark Fairies are pretty interesting. They basically are just kind of standalone good statted monsters, and they have this kind of little burn strategy, but they don't really do anything unfair. They don't really have any kind of core game plan outside of just kind of bash face and try and win via that. So if we go through, we'll check out our legend first. This is Dark Lord Zerato. So if you have 4 or more dark attribute monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can tribute summon this card and attack position by tributing 1 dark attribute monster. So basically a more powerful summon skill, 2800 attack. Fantastic. And it's a Dark Fairy, just to boot. But we can send a dark attribute monster from our hand to the graveyard to destroy all monsters on your opponent's field. But we destroy this card during the end phase of this turn. So that second effect usually isn't going to matter, because once we use this effect, the plan is to try and win there and then. Because typically, if we can get this out and one of our other boss monsters out, we'll clear the way and then get in for over 5,000 damage, which usually I think is going to be game ending. So the other boss monsters, we're on 2 copies of Agarabel. This is... we don't have enough Dark Fairy high-level monsters to really fill out the deck, so we're kind of using this. And this is a decent monster. 2500 attack, 2 tributes, send a fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard, 1 face-up monster on your field gains 1000 attack, so we can give the boost to any of our other monsters, including Zerato or any of our other boss monsters, which is good enough on its own. The only problem is this is a light monster, which means a lot of our effects that require us with dark monsters will not work with this card. So next up, Archangel Metal Position. This card I think is good just because it has 2500 attack. The rest of the effect is kind of a bit mid, but if our life points are lower than our opponents, we can send 1 other face-up dark attribute fairy type monster from our field to the graveyard. That's quite a steep cost for quite a mediocre effect. But we can change 1 face-down monster on our opponent's field to face-up defense position, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. So this is only really good if we can get one of Alex's very, very high-level powerful monsters to face-down defense, flip it up, and then burn him, which, again, if we can do 2500 burn damage, that's okay, but the cost of attributing a monster is quite steep, and the way we're usually going to get this effect off is using our Seraph of Darkness. So if we have a face-up level 5 or higher dark attribute monster on the field, we can pay 500 life points, change 1 face-up level 8 or lower monster on your opponent's field to face-up attack position or face-down defense position. So we can basically just flip his cards into face-down defense, flip them up with metal position, and get the burn off. But again, most of the time we're probably just going to be using this card as a 2500 attacker. Next up, Watchman of the Apocalypse. So as a continuous effect, which means it will work during our turn and during Alex's turn, if your opponent has 6 or more monsters in their graveyard, this card gains 500 attack and cannot be destroyed by the effects of your opponent's level 8 or lower monsters. So the prevent destruction effect is probably not going to come up. There aren't many ways that that will actually happen, but being 3000 attack and still being a Dark Fairy, so it still works with our other effects, is very, very good. Just being able to access 3000 attack monsters in our deck, very, very, very powerful. So to fill out the deck, we're on 3 copies of our 1500 attacker, our Glyco Razor, 3 copies of Sushi Fairy just because it's dark, and 3 copies of Archangel Guard Dolby. This is in it because it has 0 attack, and 1500 defense is still fine, but it has 0 attack to be paired with our Scare Chair Relaxer. So we can send a monster with 0 attack from our hand to the graveyard, send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard, then if a level 8 or lower dark monster is a max card sent, which it should be most of the time, as long as we don't hit our spells and traps and our light monsters, we can add a level 8 or lower dark monster from our graveyard to our hand, but our opponent gains life points equal to that monster's attack. So we can either grab something to be used as tribute fodder, something that has a useful effect like our Brain Harvester, or we can grab one of our big tribute monsters and just keep reusing them. Alex will gain life points, but that's fine. A lot of our effects want us to be on lower life points anyway. The other 0 attacker on is Archangel Dire Needle. So you can send this card face up to the field to the graveyard, and one of our Dark Fairy gets piercing for the turn. It's fine. A lot of the time, this card's probably just going to be a tribute fodder, but it's good to have the option to have basically the piercing spell, but on a body. So we could just use this, tribute it off, give something piercing. It can get the job done some of the time. So the last monster we haven't really talked about is Brain Harvester. If your opponent has 2 or more monsters on their field, that is the annoying cost that we usually forget. So we have to remember that Alex has to have 2 monsters on their field for us to use it. We can send up to 2 fairy monsters from our hand to the graveyard, draw cards equal to the number of cards sent. So potentially discard 2, draw 2 can be really good filtering and can get some of the high level monsters out of our hand if we are bricking. We're on 3 copies of Angel Judge, so this is our spell trap destruction. It puts it on the bottom of the opponent's deck. So this can be more relevant depending on the deck we're against, but putting it on the bottom of their deck means that they're less likely to see it again, so it can be useful. 2 copies of Armaments of Ascension. This is in here primarily to get our monsters up to level 9 or 10 to get around the destruction effects, only affect level 8 and lower, but also 200 attack and defense is not bad. We're on 2 copies of Crisis at Sacred Tower, just a generic trap because the in-arc type trap cards are not super good for fairies. We also have 3 copies of Slash Halo, the one good trap. So when your opponent declares an attack targeting a face-up attack positioned fairy type monster, pay 500 life points, the attacking monster loses 1000 attack. Now 1000 is really, really good for a combat trick. That means, for example, if we had a 1500 attacker, we can actually trade with one of Alex's 2500 attackers, which is very relevant. So in the side deck, 3 copies of Hammer Crush in case we feel like we need extra spell trap destruction, 3 copies of Aegis in case Alex is on a load of destruction traps and we need ways to protect our monsters, 3 copies of Inside Rollout in case Alex is perhaps on maybe a maximum or something, just being able to reduce attack points can be really relevant and it's in archetype. The 3rd copy of Armaments of Ascension if we feel like we need it, 3 copies of Hard Defense Mission just because it's generically a good card, the 3rd copy of Crisis in case again Alex has trap destruction of his own and we just need a way to interact with him on our turn. And rolled Sticky Save. So when an opponent's monster declares an attack, 1 attack position very much on the field cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. Your opponent gets life points equal to that monster's attack. Again, it can be good, but I'm not a big fan of protecting our monsters more than I want to be destroying Alex's monsters. So we're only going to have the 1 copy in here. But yeah, this is the deck. I'm feeling pretty confident. This is basically just going to be a beatdown strategy, and beatdown generally is good. It's easy to play, and it gets the job done. So let's fire into the game and see what Alex has got for us. So, with any luck, next week we will be on the next set, which I think is going to be pretty cool. The next set being, I believe, the Overrush pack, which has some very interesting cards in it, including a couple of new maximums for someone and their their Fiend strategy. I don't know how well it's going to mesh with the old Fiend stuff. Like, I imagine you'll at least be using some of them, but because one of the maximum is all made up of level 10s, I assume you probably don't want to be playing it with a bunch of other like level 8 monsters.
Yeah, probably not.
We'll have to see how that goes. But then I'm going to get some lovely Cyber Dragon cards, which I am very much looking forward to. I am super excited because I do love the Cyber Dragons. I've always been a big fan of Zane from GX. So getting to use Cyber Dragon stuff and some brand new Cyber Dragon stuff that's going to be unique to Rush, I think is going to be really, really fun. But for now, we are still on Fortissimo of Whirlwinds, which was overall, I think Fortissimo has been pretty cool. I think it's had some interesting developments and some really cool cards. I don't know if it's a positive or a negative, is the fact that they seem to just throw like 1 support card for like a ton of different archetypes. It would have been, I think, better to see like 3 or 4 support cards for each different archetype. Because although it's like, oh, this is technically a new deck, because it's like it's using new card. If it's only just 1 new card, it kind of just feels a bit samey. But I suppose we can't expect every set to be like revolutionary, right? Or just massively important. But I'm interested to see as well if we get any more equip spells, because I don't think we have any in the Overrush pack, but in the Go Rush anime we have been seeing a few new equip spells. So maybe not the Overrush pack, but maybe the set after we might see some of those, which I think would be really cool.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know about you. I think the equip spells have been... It's a hard one to call. Like in some of them feel extremely impactful, like they add a lot to the archetype, and some of them feel a bit like, did you need this?
Yeah, I've definitely felt that with some of the ones I've gotten.
Yeah. Well, let's fire on in and see if either of us are bringing any of those impactful or lackluster field spells. All right. Oh. Hey. Right, we'll go first. This hand is a little funky. We can make stuff happen. So we will start by normal summoning Archangel Glyco Razor. I'll summon out another one. We're going to tribute both and summon out our Archangel Metal Position. And we're going to set one back row and just pass. 2500 is pretty big.
Oh, I'm a pog.
What is it with you in this card?
Oh, it's not brilliant.
Okay.
Grand Extreme.
Special summoning.
summoning.
Hand field, then you can shuffle up to 5 monsters of the opponent's graveyard to the deck. Okay.
Does your deck have a lot of getting stuff out of the graveyard?
Trying to think now. I don't think my deck cares if I have it in the graveyard or in the deck.
I will not shuffle them.
I think my deck cares about you having stuff in your graveyard. I think more than it cares about my own.
Activate Vanishing Torrent.
Okay, that's fine. You got my Armaments of Ascension.
Oh, I could have activated it as well. Never mind. And
So what is this? Graganoth. Is this a new one or an old one?
this is an old one.
Okay, so during the turn you summon this card, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of spell traps. Okay, so you could have done 300, but 300 is just only 300, so it's whatever, right?
I'll use that, so I will.
Yeah,
Clash.
I think that's the smart decision here. 2 back row though, that's a little bit worrisome. Alright, we have a few bits we can do. So we'll start by summoning my Scare Chair Relaxer. We're going to fire for its effect. Hit your card. This card is bitten me so many times. I have 2 non-dark monsters and then just spells and traps. And every time I've used it, I think, in this deck, it always hits the non-dark monsters. Even though there's like 25 cards to hit. Alright, so we'll normal summon out Brain Harvester. Unfortunately, we can't use its effect, but we need to get our hand empty, so we're going to normal summon out Seraph of Darkness. So now we're going to get a battle phase. We will just attack into this and see if we can get rid of it. No, we can't. Well, we can't do anything there. We'll pass.
Okay. That. Acrominos.
Okay.
Tribute to Garanganos.
Aha, counted. I don't have any spells and traps.
And what are these guys doing? You have a favourite level 5.
Ironically, these are all kind of interesting effects.
It's the more likely to get me bitten, I think.
Okay, this is a funky hand. Alright, let's start out by firing off Angel Judge. We'll just pick off this one. Next, I think... This hand is kind of crusty, but I think we have to start emptying it. So, I'll tribute these 2 and summon out Agarabel, the Finest Sushi Fairy. We're going to fire off its effect, pitch a card to give itself a boost. Then I think we just go straight to battle and attack. Oh, no trap card. I was expecting something. We'll pass on that.
Let's set this. Set 2 in defense.
It's been a while since I've played against Sea Serpents, but I remember them having a really strong trap card, and that's got me kind of nervous, but I don't remember what it does. Okay, what are we doing with this hand then? We have a couple of things we can do. I think we want to try and empty our hand either way. So I'm going to normal summon Spider Roll the Sushi Fairy, followed by summoning Spider Roll the Sushi Fairy. Next we're going to tribute 2 and summon out our Watchman of the Apocalypse. So if your opponent has 6 or more monsters in their graveyard, gains 500 attack, cannot be destroyed by the effects of your opponent's level 8 or lower monsters. I guess then we will summon out Archangel Glyco Razor. And I think we're just going to battle phase here. So we're going to get a little bit greedy. We're going to attack this with our 1500, which does go over it. Then we'll attack into this with our 2500, which gives you 6 monsters engraved, so we can dome you for the extra 5. More pass. Oh, he's back. Oh, tribute for a level 6 2000 attacker.
I got nothing else.
I still have no idea what your back row is. I mean, we'll get rid of one of them, I guess. Yeah, my hand is also not great at trying to like close things out. I guess we will activate pitching this to boost this thing's attack. Summon. Equip this onto this, and then just hope that's just enough damage. I'm sure it probably is. Attack with this.
Yeah, GG.
Oh, that's game 1. I have just no idea what this back row was. I assume they would just get cards out of your hand to try and draw it to 5 kind of deal.
No, they were trap cards.
Oh, I have no idea what
They
trap
have
cards then did.
really specific
Activation requirements.
activation requirements.
Well, hopefully we'll see him in game 2.
Right.
Oh, making me go first. This hand is not good right now, so let's spin that wheel. Oh great. So I can take a 0 attack monster, a 0 attack monster, or a 0 attack monster. Now the benefit of this is that you don't get any life points because it would heal you for that monster's attack points. Unfortunately, it still doesn't really do much for me here, so we're just going to set a bunch of cards and pass back.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna set a bunch of cards. And also.
Okay. Alright, we've drawn cards that we can actually do things with now. But first, we will activate Angel Judge and just get rid of one of these. Then, I guess this is what I want to play. So I'll tribute 2 and summon out Archangel Metal Position. Then we'll summon out Brain Harvester and tribute 2 to summon out a Garabelle.
Oof.
I guess I'm going to fire off a Garabelle. And we'll just boost up this guy. Then we'll summon out the Dire Needle, activate its effect to tribute it and give this monster piercing. Then we'll slam into this. And slam in for 25. And pass.
Well, so activate this.
Okay.
Summon.
So you can draw a card. Oh, you need a Sea Serpent, Thunder, or Aqua. Normal monster. Okay. Alright, well, we'll fire this off. Pitch to boost. Summon out 15. Go to battle. See what you got.
Finally activate trap card.
When your opponent's monster kills an attack targeting your face-up fish or sea serpent type monster, shuffle one Umi or Big Umi from your graveyard into the deck, destroy one face monster in your opponent's field with the highest attack, draw one card and show it. So you drew Pot of Greed. Fuck you. We'll swing. We can get him for the 15. Goddamn Pot of Greed. Fuck.
You know what's coming.
Now, is there a big sea serpent coming my way? What does this one do? If your opponent has a monster on the field, place a Sea Dragon, King, Graganus, or a Grand Extreme from a graveyard to the bottom of your deck. I don't think you have either in there at the moment.
Yeah, I can't do either of that. Yeah, this isn't going too brilliant.
So is this the new one?
This is the new guy.
Okay. During your main phase, you normal or special summon this card. Place one card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Add one water attribute sea serpent type monster from your graveyard to your hand. Then if you added Umu to your hand by this effect, it gains 1400 attack. Now, I'm guessing you don't have that in your graveyard currently.
Don't. Oh wait, I could have. Fuck.
Okay, well, we will normal summon out Brain Harvester, fire off its effect, fetch 2 fairies to draw 2. We'll then tribute 2 and summon out Angel Art's Metal Position. Then we can summon out Glyco Razor. Then we're going to activate Armaments of Ascension. Set and go to battle. And we'll see if you have anything. We'll see if you have anything. Oh, which one's this one? Declares a direct attack while you have Umu or Big Umi in your field. Change battle position to all face monster field. Then you can special summon a Sea Serpent normal monster from your graveyard. Okay, that's pretty good. Let me pass on that.
Wait, Vanishing Torrent.
Okay. Goodbye, Slash Halo. So you need a 1400 or higher attacker to get a boost from Umi to get over Metal Position.
Okay, he can't use his effect. Will they have either of those on the boost? But go to battle.
Buy a Garabelle. Okay. So I have potential. I think we just go for it. So I'm going to activate Angel Judge. And I'm going to get rid of Umi. Then I'm going to change this to attack. I will set this, then tribute 2, and summon out Watchman of the Apocalypse. Then I'm going to activate Inside Rollout. Go to battle, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, GG.
Oh, GG, man. Oh, that
Can't
was...
activate any of my trap cards unless I have Umi or Big Umi on the field.
So is that another one of those traps which you needed it on?
Yeah.
I mean, they're really, really strong traps. It's just like you say, they have annoying
Stupid
restrictions.
Requirements, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the other thing. You had to run so many copies of Umi and Big Umi because you have to see them. If you don't see them, the deck doesn't work. But
Yeah,
because
didn't
of that,
see him game 1, so
Yeah.
I cited in 2 Big Umi.
And then because obviously you play so many, you end up wrecking on at least a few of them.
Yep.
Oh man, that's definitely a rough one. Should we fire it into a game 3 and see what we can get off?
After you.
Always making me go first. Alright, well. We'll set 2. Then we will set 2 and pass back.
Okay, okay. Hog.
I don't think you've seen what legend I'm on yet.
No, I don't think I have. Grand Extreme to get out the Salvage Wolfish.
Okay.
Vanishing Torrent one at your back row.
Slash Halo's a good one. Double
Get these
tribute.
guys out so I can activate Big Umi.
Okay. Face up non-water attribute monsters, lose 300 attack. And defense, yeah. And because of the effective big ocean, I get the decrease there.
Woo!
Okay, this hand potentially does things. Bam, bam, bam. That leaves me with that, which doesn't actually do a ton. So, I'm going to normal summon out Brain Harvester. Next, I'm going to, I guess, fire off Brain Harvester's effect here. I want to get rid of this one for sure. Probably this one. To draw 2. Does that change things? Does a little bit. I will then normal summon out Brain Harvester. I'll tribute 2 to summon out a Garabelle. Fire off the Angel Judge. And we can summon out our Glyco Riser, activate a Garabelle's effect to boost itself, just so I get the big tribute monster out of the hand. Then I think we're just going to slam into this and slam into the big boy. And pass back.
Umu. Umu.
Okie dokie. Oh,
Savage
he's here.
Fish. Pitch that. Grab
So
that.
he's going to go to a very strange number, isn't he? 37.
We will set this. Put this in defense. Swing.
Oh, goodbye, Garabelle. Alright, any tribute monster, I guess, beats this. Okay. Okay, I have 2 things I can do here. I think it's got to be this. So I'll tribute this to summon out Dark Lord Zerato, my legend.
Oh.
So if you form of dark attribute monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can tribute summon this card in attack position by tributing to only 1 dark monster. And I can send a dark attribute monster from my hand to the graveyard to destroy all monsters on my opponent's field, but I have to destroy this card during the end phase of my turn.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and set 2, go to battle, and then we're just going to see if we can't attack over your Wolffish. And pass back.
Set this. Okay, I'm gonna get out Sea Dragon Knight. Activate its effect.
Okay.
I'll shuffle back in these guys. Put this.
Oh, that's a good one. That's my combat trick.
We will tribute 2 for Granganus.
Okay.
Activate Grand Extreme. Let's hope you brick on the tribute. And then 28 is big.
28 is big.
Not getting over that easy.
Well, we'll fire off the Angel Judge. Since that was probably a trap card that required Umi anyway. Probably summon out our Spider Roll, the Sushi Fairy. And to go with it, Spider Roll, the Sushi Fairy. Then we'll tribute 2 and summon out our Metal Position. Then I think we'll just go straight to battle. We will attack over Graganus, and then I guess we will just attack over Takraminos and pass to you. Well, managed to get the hand empty, and without any piercing, I can't actually get at you. Oh. What would that do? No, that doesn't. Wait, does that? So, I could use that. That's already... Okay, alright. We will fire off Angel Judge. Get rid of one of these cards again. Then I can activate Zerato and just throw this away.
Oh.
I can fire off the Aegis just in case. Then
I mean, you know I can't activate any of my trap cards without Umi,
I mean,
so...
yeah, but like, you might have sided something
now,
in. Like, you
No?
could've- Hey, I don't know that. How am I supposed to know?
Play...
Ah,
No, I don't want a rematch. Deck was ass. Sea Serpents are just rubbish.
yeah, it's surprising. Your Sea Serpents were really good before, I feel. Like, I think you clapped me around with them quite a bit when you first got them released. But I can't... Like, I just remember the traps being really, really impactful. I don't really remember much of what else the deck was doing.